All right, so you have Michael asking, I understand that tartan is a weaving pattern repeated horizontally as well as vertically, warp and weft. If I want a set design with a horizontal blue line and yellow stripes and a vertical green line and red stripes, is this technically possible? If it is technically possible, is it still considered a tartan?
Yes. If you actually look at the Welsh Tartans, they have a different warp and weft. Traditionally, from like 1995 and previous, tartans were effectively defined as a warp, which is the long threads that go down the tartan, and the weft, which is the quick ones that go up and down the bolt or across the bolt of the cloth. They were effectively the same. So you would have a warp and weft that were the same, which made a gridular pattern. We need the gridular graphic here. The gridular pattern. And it was... Do we have a gridular graphic? I don't think we do. We have to make a gridular graphic. Anyway, they were the same. Yes, warp and weft. In the late 90s, mid-90s, the Welsh Tartan Center, or two gentlemen who sold it to the Welsh Tartan Center, designed Welsh Tartans. And to be different than the Scottish Tartans and the Irish Tartans that were out, they made a different warp and weft. So their kilts have a slightly vertical, stripy kind of effect to it, is the best way to put it, where the warp and the weft are different. So yes, you can do that. It is not common. Most tartan generators that you'll see online do not allow you to do that, but a mill can actually produce that. So yes, it can be done.
I think you've got to think of the finished product on this in the end, because how your horizontal versus your vertical is going to look when it's pleated or when the finished product's done. What you're going for, because you can get a very dominant line going horizontal across the kilt, and which makes the lawn chair effect that we've talked about on here, where it makes you look wider than what you are. So you've got to think. I think in this aspect, you got to think a little bit more of where you want the more dominant colors. You want them, if you're using grays or lighter colors, you're gonna make sure they're going vertically, not horizontally, in this aspect.
Now, specifically, correct me if I'm wrong, he was talking about the stripes repeating vertical versus horizontal.
And he's using blue and yellow horizontally, and green and red vertically.
For stripes,
that's
for the main colors.
He said horizontal, blue and yellow stripes, and then vertically green and red stripes.
Okay. Stripes, I don't know whether he means like stripes as far as like, a stripe or a stripe.
Yeah, it depends on the width of it.
A field or a stripe. Yeah. Now, one thing I will point out is that a lot of non-traditional Scottish tartan fabrics, specifically Catholic schoolgirl uniforms, have, basically, I've seen a lot of them where it's the vertical stripes are all yellow, but the horizontal stripes are either all red or are yellow-red repeating up the cloth. So it can give a weird and or Catholic schoolgirl vibe to the fabric. So can you do it? Sure. Should you do it? Maybe, but it's going to be tricky to pull off. That's ultimately where I'm going to land on it.
Yeah, it's just a lot more thought process behind it.
Yep.